Hello again. We are in the lecture that talks about human personalities. That might seem weird, but the better you understand how humans act, why they act that way, why they react a certain way, the better you'll be able to serve them. And this is actually something that you're probably going to use further down the line in your life. It's not just here. It can help in restaurants, but it can help in a lot of things you do. Sales, if you ever become a manager, working with staff, this is something that you will reuse. They're four main personalities, but they're pretty easy to pinpoint, and the more you actually think about this, the more you'll be able to recognize them and know how to deal with them. Now, this one comes from a book called Personality Plus, I believe, but there's if you Google this stuff about personalities, there's a bunch of books on the subject. This is one that I liked a bit more than the others. I'm trying to keep this simple, and some people might like other personality description better. This is the one that I like, and this is the one that's helped me become a better server, and that's the one that I've taught to a lot of servers and managers in working every day. So just going to describe them to you, and then I'll say how you can work with them a little better. So the first one is the choleric. So it's the commender type, okay? Cholerics are dominant, strong, decisive, stubborn, and even could be a little arrogant sometimes. A lot of it, maybe the owner of your restaurant could be like this. It's something that business owners often will be cholerics, and that's how they manage to pull through and actually get businesses off the ground and get them going. So the choleric is the really strong type. And I believe you probably already have somebody in your mind that could be of this personality. The melancholic is a mental type. Okay, they analyze. Their typical behaviors involves thinking, assessing, making lists, evaluating the positives and the negatives, and general analysis of facts. They need data, okay, to analyze how things are going, to think before they make a decision. They're not going to make a decision on the fly. They need to really think about it and analyze things. The sanguine, that's the social type. That's the fun type. That's the exciting type. They enjoy fun, socializing, chatting, telling stories. Very fond of promising the world because it's the friendly thing to do, even though they know most of the times that they probably can't deliver. And the phlegmatic is the flat type. Easygoing, laid back, nonchalant, unexcitable, relaxed. To make him happy, they desire a peaceful environment above all else, right? When you're serving people like this, the choleric is the person that when you start telling him about the special in a menu, will say, yeah, well actually she'll have a martini, she'll definitely order for a bunch of people at the table, or try to guide what's going on. And no, you know, you have that drink that you used to have on the list, well, okay, I want that. Or yeah, you know, Mike, the owner, is he here? Because I know Mike. You know, they're really going to take control. They're not going to want to listen to what you're trying to tell them, so give up. Okay, don't try to say, no, I have to tell you these specials. Try to get them in, or listen to what they have to say before you come back and say, listen, let me tell you about a few specials we have for everybody at the table. And you try to bring it in, but you'll have to be smooth with them because they want to control everything, and they want to control the conversation of what's going on. You'll see them right away, just the way they handle themselves, right? The way they come over here, I want this, I want that, I don't want this table, I want to, definitely in control. The sanguine will want to try everything you offer them for the most part. They'll want to listen to you, they'll have a joke to tell you, they'll ask you what else you do, where are you from, they'll be laughing loudly. That's your sanguine. You hear them a mile away, they're coming down, you know. They'll be the life of the party though. They're sitting at a table, they're the one that one of the ladies gonna go, oh Mike, you're crazy. Well, the crazy is the sanguine, okay? So they're the ones. So they're easy, make it fun. Don't be too much in the details of this new wine or this new beer. The more real yourself you are, the better this is going to be. I have this great new beer for you to try. We have this great new appetizer. It tastes so good. It stopped with this, and then you describe stuff. Make it fun. The sanguine will jump on board. The melancholic, give him some data, okay? Here's our table d'hôte today. You get to pick this. You give him some details, right? This is why you'll do a little bit of this at a table, because you might have every personality. But the melancholic wants some details. They're the ones that'll be like, so can you tell me what's in this chicken dish? And then you're like, so this chicken is grilled. It'll be topped with a little bit of a mango salsa and served with some rice. And then say, oh, okay, and what's on the chicken salad? Oh yeah, and then they'll describe this chicken salad and say, oh no, I'll have your veal in the end. So that's your melancholic. They want data. They want to analyze things. They want to think about it. They're the ones that are going to say, we're ready to order, and then they'd be like, actually, can I have 2 more minutes? They're so afraid to make a wrong decision. They need to reanalyze everything. The phlegmatic is the one that's going to listen to you politely. Is because he doesn't want to upset anything. He doesn't want to upset you, doesn't want to upset anybody at the table. Listen to what you have to say. We'll take into suggestions, may or may not go that way. May ask you a few questions to clarify certain things. Usually maybe for a melancholic, that'll be at the table, but that's kind of how they roll. So it's not clear cut that the choleric won't be a little bit of something else, but everybody's got a bit of everything, but they all have a dominant personality that will come out. Okay? Just to give you an idea, when I left high school and I had to decide what I was going to do in school after that, I live in Quebec. There's a thing called CEGEP, which is pre-university. I found out what I wanted to study, opened up a book. There was 2 CEGEP, one that was a couple hours away and one that was half hour away from my house. Sent in my request, got accepted. Took me all about an hour and a half of research. And that was before the internet, because I'm really old. So that's how I did it. I have a baby sister that's 11 years younger than me. She's a bit more on the melancholic side. When she went to CEGEP, she found 8 of those schools that had the classes that she wanted to take. And then she made a sheet with how long it would take her and how she could get to that school. How many boys, what the boys ratio was and if they look good. Because she did all the visits, right? She visited all 8 of them. They have this open session, open day to come and visit the school and see if and then how many boys, how the sports installations were, if they had a little coffee shop or a little restaurant in the school. She had about 20 things to evaluate on these 8 schools. Chopped it down to 6 quickly and then to 3, and then I think revisited 2 of those 3 before she made a decision. Her process to pick her school was about 6 months. Mine was about an hour and a half. The choleric probably would have been even maybe less than that, because they would have made phone calls and asked to talk to people. And the phlegmatic probably would have gone to the closest one to his house, because he doesn't want to make too much waves. Probably would have found something he wants to study, comfortable, close to home. So I hope this explains personalities to you. It can also help and when you're dealing with your boss, if you understand where they sit in here, and your colleagues, coworkers, other servers, bartenders, kitchen. If you understand where they come from and you know how to get to them, right? Let the choleric be in control. Make suggestions, bring tips, or make them your friend. Show them they're in control, but kind of work your way into it. Make the sanguine your friend, your buddy. Be funny, be fun, make them happy. Give him some data, make him understand there's order. Anyways, okay, that we're doing things a certain way for a certain reason. Then tell the phlegmatic everything's cool, and especially if there's change, make them understand why we're doing the change so they're comfortable with it, so we're not rattling them too much, and you'll have great success. And one last thing I want to tell you about this subject is that when you're trying to build rapport with your guests, you want to be likable. But we have 3 levels of personalities. And the 3 levels, the first one is your public personality. So that's the one that you're in school, you're at the restaurant, you would be talking in front of people, or going out with a group of 20 people for somebody's birthday, and you wind up talking in front of people. That person, that is the public person. Okay, the second one is your private personality. So that's the one with your family, when you're alone with your close friends, when you're alone with, in your circle. You're not in the outside world, but you're inside your house. You're in a small group of friends at a restaurant. You're small group, talking to one coworker. That, sometimes people are a little bit different or very different, but that's what we're getting to. And the third one is your personal. The personal one is you by yourself. The stuff that only you know about yourself, that you maybe not even want your mom or your significant other or people close to you to know, but maybe your significant other, if you build a really strong relationship and you're very open with each other, and there are people who are keep stuff from their significant other. There are other people that build long-term, lasting, deep meaning relationship. They might get into that circle. Now, some people are serial killers in their personal lives. Nobody know about that. And in private, if you read about serial killers, people will say, and that's a bad example, it's a tough example, but it's just to show you the gap of where that can lead. In private, their family said they were very nice people, and in public, they were charming people that had, Google John Gacy. He was a serial killer, rapist that disguised himself as a clown that did some horrible things in his private hidden thing. In his private life, he was seen as a regular citizen that had a lot of great for community, and in public, he was seen with the President of the United States and his wife, taking pictures with them, along the same time that he was killing people behind their back. So it doesn't, the margin between how sick and twisted he was to his public personality was very different. Now you're saying, where the hell is this going with this class? Well, here it is. The closer these three personalities are to each other, the more stable you are, the more real you are. Okay? The more real you are, and we'll talk about people being able to see when you're lying or reading through the BS that you're talking about. The closer these are, the more real you are, the more people relate to you. And that's something I've spent a lot of time working on in the last 10, 15 years, and that has made me an even bigger earner than most people I work with that were the top earners. Okay? So if you met me in public, it's pretty much what we're getting right here, right? This is me, and there's no acting here, this is me filming this information for you and trying to provide you massive amounts of information to help you make more money as a server. But if you saw me in public, I teach in public, and this is how I teach. And if you saw me speak in public in front of hundreds of people, as I do sometimes, you would see that I am the same. I play music too. If you saw me play a show, it would be the same thing. And if you saw me in private, and you came here as I'm filming this in my studio in my house, and we sat down and had a drink together and talked about these things, you would see that this is pretty much what you get, right? With me, what you see is what you get. And in private, it's pretty much the same thing, right? I've worked really hard because I used to be pretty shy when I was younger, so I'd be very shy in public, but I'd be all over the place in private. And I've learned to kind of because I believe that the closer these three are together, the more whole you are as a person, the more real you are as a person, and people feel that. When you start talking about products, about service, about building rapport with them at a table, they'll understand. So we're getting a little far into the psychology of service, but this is something that's really important, and that's going to make a huge difference. If you're completely different, if you're fake, people smell fake 100 miles away. Especially now, there's so much information provided with TV, internet, YouTube, this and that. People see everybody in all kinds of, and on Facebook, you see when people are writing, you feel the little picture with a kitty cat in the book and the coffee mug has been set up. Okay, that smells like fake. When people are fake on Facebook or anywhere else, you feel it in a restaurant the same. So when you're yourself, and that means that sometimes you'll be a little self-deprecating in private, right? You make fun of yourself. Do that with your guests. When you're interacting with people, there's nothing wrong. Nobody's going to judge you or make fun of you. Make fun of yourself before other people do. Take the joy away from them of making fun of you. But that's something really important. When your three personalities or the three aspects of your personality are getting closer, people will feel that you're truly real, and they'll like you even more and be more attracted to you. And the more people are attracted to you, that's something you want when you work in a restaurant. That's how you build a clientele, and that's how you grow that. And I'll see you in the next section.